Okay, welcome to lesson 27. If you've just watched lesson 26, we will continue when we were talking about the 12 chromatic notes converted into the chromatic scale. We converted it via the tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone formula, major formula. Here are the natural A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the 7 natural note names, note letters in the Western alphabet, equivalent to A, B, C, D, E, F, G on the white keys of a piano. In between we have the black enharmonic keys, which represent, they have 2 names for the same thing. This one, A sharp or B flat, C sharp or D flat. Okay, we've just covered the A sharp, B flat scale. Now I want to move down here and look at this one, C sharp or D flat scale. So we've got position 1, degree 1, the root, tonic, key of C sharp major it will be when we've done the conversion through tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone major formula. So if we start on C sharp up here, our enharmonic black key, which is C sharp or D flat, if we move a tone we end up on D sharp. From there, if we move another tone, we end up on an F. From the F semitone, we end up on an F sharp. From the F sharp tone, we end up on a G sharp. From G sharp, another tone, we end up on an A sharp. A lot of sharps going on here. And from the A sharp, let's have just a quick check here. C sharp, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 we end up in the C, and then semitone, C sharp again. Let's put a bracket around there. We're at the octave. We're back to the beginning basically, look. Okay, we've ended up with quite a few sharps on there. We've ended up with a couple of repeat letters here, the F and F sharp. I think there's some rule about not having the 2 same letters, but we shall ignore that for now because we've got the equivalent here. So let's do this D flat, which is exactly the same, C sharp, D flat. So if you played these notes on your guitar or a piano, it will be exactly the same sound as the ones we do here for the flat. So again, if we start on the we're going to call it flat, D flat, tone, we end up on an E flat. From E flat, tone, we end up on an F. From the F semitone, we're going to call this a G flat. And then a tone, I'm going to call it an A flat, and then another tone, we're going to call it a B flat. So have a quick recap where we are. D flat here, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 we end up on a C, semitone. We're back to the D flat. Put a bracket around. You notice when we're doing these flats, none of the letters, like here, was repeated. We don't repeat any there, which is quite convenient. So again, if we played through here on your piano, C sharp, D sharp, F, F sharp, excuse me pencil, G sharp, A sharp, C. You played them through that, listen to them, now play this, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C. They sound exactly the same because they are the same. We've got the enharmonic, it's the same thing, remember the Necker cube? Two ways of seeing the same thing. Okay, we've covered the A sharp stroke B flat, 12 chromatic notes, converted them into the chromatic scale. We've covered the C sharp D flat here now, from into the chromatic scale. I don't want to go on to here now. I mean, I think you've probably got the gist. If you put D sharp here, E flat underneath, start on your D sharp and work through your tone, tone, semitone, write them out, take your E flat, which is exactly the same as D sharp, and do your tone, tone, semitone structure again, formula, sorry, and to convert it into a scale. I want to look back on when we were doing the natural ones. We were talking about these 7 natural notes, 7 natural note letters, A to A. So it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, the white keys. We use a tone, tone, semitone formula to convert it into an A major scale. In so doing, we produce these sharps. Now, on the first, third and fifth step of a primary triad chord, if you remember, we wrote them vertically. We went one, we had it wrote here 1, 3, 5, produced a chord, produces the triad chord. Let's just look over here. Major chord of A, I'm not talking about A sharp here, I'm talking about the A natural one we did here, was made of a 135 degrees from its major scale of A, and that gave A, C sharp, E. Here, A, C sharp, E. So that was a chord of A in the normal A major scale. Now I've wrote down here to create primary triad chords of the 135 degrees in the sharp versions, what we're talking about here, the enharmonic, move all major natural equivalents, this is the natural equivalent, up 1 semitone each. On your guitar this will be 1 fret. So let's have a look at this then. We've got A, C sharp, E. So if you moved all that up, what would you get? A, C sharp, E. Think about that. I'm going to rip this out and I'm going to write down what you'll get. Let's have a look. I could probably just remember this, to create a primary triad chords of the 135 degrees in the sharp versions, move all major natural equivalents all up 1 semitone. Not keen on rubbing that out. I may rub out here. I'm going to rub it out here. So this small area to work in, but we're not really bothered. So originally we had A, I'm going to write it vertically, A, C sharp, E. And that was 1, 3, 5. It's only counting numbers, so we can do 1, 2 in between, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so forth. So this one is this here, A, C sharp, E. But I want to do it if we were doing it from the A. Now, of course, on here, I've actually wrote out this C one.